Welcome to the abundance journey where we flip the script on struggle. We turn stress into success. I'm here to help you partner with the divine and unlock practical strategies and spiritual alignment to create the abundant life your soul designed you to live. So let's open the gift of abundance right now. So I have a question for you the way I usually do, and this is a really important question. I want you to think hard about this. Are you making decisions, or are your decisions making you? It's kind of a trick question, isn't it? Welcome to the Abundance Journey Show, where we don't just talk about abundance, we activate it. I'm your host, Elaine Starling, the Abundance Ambassador, and every single episode is a sacred invitation to shift your energy, ignite your purpose, and align with the divine guidance that's been whispering your name all along. Well, today's episode might just be the moment where everything clicks for you. Because if you've ever felt like you're just kind of stuck in your head, you're second guessing your instincts, you're paralyzed by all your choices, and you crave clarity, this conversation is going to be like a breath of fresh air, because we're diving into the powerful connection between intuition and transformation, and how accessing your inner guidance system can unlock a life of clarity, confidence, and connection. Our guest is the phenomenal Gwyneth Flack. She's awesome. She's a transformational teacher, a coach, and the author of the breakthrough book, Limitless. Transform your life with intuition and creativity. With nearly 2 decades of experience empowering thousands of people to trust their inner wisdom, Gwyneth is a master at helping others break free from old patterns, ground themselves in truth, and raise their vibration to joy. She's here to show us how to stop thinking our way through life and start feeling our way into purpose. Gwyneth, I am thrilled beyond imagining that you're here today. This is such an important topic.
Thank you so much for having me on your beautiful and amazing podcast. I've been loving listening to the other episodes.
Well, I'm really delighted that you're here today, because so many of us, myself included, have lots of times when we get kind of stuck in the mind, and we've got all this stuff going on up here, and we forget that it really starts in the heart, and we can get the guidance we're looking for whenever we're willing to sink in and receive it. Now, I know you've got so much to share, and I have a lot of questions to ask you, but I want to start by making sure we take a couple of moments to connect our energy. Yours, mine, with the God of our understanding, and the entire audience. All of our energy is going to be connected, and there's 2 different things that we will do to make that happen. The first one, we're going to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths together. And as we breathe in through the nose, think the words I am. As we breathe out through the mouth, think the word consciousness. And I'll remind you of that when we get to that part. The second thing we're going to do to connect our energy is I'm going to share an intention. Intention. I always point at my heart when I say intention. It literally is inside you. And think of this as your identity. This is your new reality. This intention is what you are choosing to create in this moment. And we're creating this together. We don't have a script. What we're doing is we're collaborating with the divine, the God of your understanding. I call this the divine, to get to this destination. It's almost like a spiritual GPS. The intention is the direction that we type into the spiritual GPS, and it kind of lets the divine know, here's the journey we're experiencing. So allow this conversation to fulfill on this journey. And it happens every time. I don't have scripts, okay? I don't. We wing it. Gwyneth does not have pre-written answers to questions. She doesn't. She's bringing her energy, and it perfectly fulfills the intention. Now, the challenge is we're going to hold that intention in silence for 78 seconds. I know. It's really funny. The latest research is that human beings have a shorter attention span than a goldfish. And a goldfish starts life brand new every 8 seconds. all new, all over again, brand new. Well, we want to curb our goldfish tendencies. And there's two things that I've found that help me hold that space for 78 seconds. The first thing, I'll pick two or three words out of the intention that just feel uplifting and expansive and high vibration. This is the new level of reality I'm choosing to create. And I'll repeat those two or three words over and over again in my mind throughout the 78 seconds. Now, the second thing I do is I notice what's happening with my body because I'll get a rush of heat or goosebumps or an image suddenly drops in. Anything like that is just a sign that the divine has locked into this higher vibration and they're ready to play. So, Gwyneth, are you ready to play?
I'm ready, 100%.
Awesome. Let's start with our 3 deep breaths. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. In love and light, we are so happy and grateful that we embrace our intuitive wisdom as a divine compass, guiding us with ease, grace, and trust as we release the need to control, overanalyze, or force outcomes, choosing to align with the flow of inspired action and soulful clarity. We honor the truth that our inner knowing is always available, always loving, and always leading us towards our highest good. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is. That was really cool. And Gwyneth, I got to tell you, your energy is through the roof today. I don't know what you've been drinking. I don't know if you ate your Wheaties or what, but holy cow, girl. I had this overwhelming rush of joy, and I saw angels blowing bubbles. Don't know where that came from, but yeah, they were having a great time blowing bubbles. What came through for you?
Well, a lot of heat and also beautiful, actually beautiful colors of blue, kind of like the blue in your shirt. And yeah. And a lot of freedom and expansion and just love.
Yeah, that's kind of what there is, really, is love all the time, everywhere. Now, You've helped so many people. I would love to get kind of the background story. What got you started with all this, and why are you so passionate about helping people understand that internal guidance system?
Well, I always loved spiritual growth, and maybe this would be a long story in and of itself, but I had a near death experience when I was 4. And that experience, the take home, if you will, the spiritual take home from that experience was that I got to really experientially experience that I was more than just a body, that I was a soul presence, that I had limitless awareness. And so that experience stayed with me, and it really kind of it was like a celebration in a way, that experience, because it was an invitation to really stay with that awareness and that knowledge, and someday bring it out in the world to just help other people to see how bright they are and how limitless they are, to see how that they are so much more than just what might, appear on the outside, so that they could tap into their limitless resources of abundance. And so basically in my 20s, I just started to take different kinds of classes. And then I never thought about teaching, or at least consciously. I think maybe that had been decided when I was 4, but I hadn't consciously decided that. I was just doing it for my own growth, and my husband and I were doing it together. We were having fun. It was great for our new relationship. It was before we even had gotten married. And then people started to ask me to teach them. And so I never planned on it, but I just ended up teaching, a little class here and there. And then it grew and grew and grew, and it became what I do. But yeah.
It's so wonderful that who you are spills over into what you do. It really does. And so you are the embodiment of your classes, of your courses, of what you teach.
Thank you.
Are living it. And that's why it feels so aligned. And that's why the energy feels so high and so strong. It really is wonderful and lovely to see. So thank you for embodying that for all of us. It's a great reminder that who you are being is the most valuable part of you. And sharing, showcasing who you are being is how you transform the world. Yeah.
Yes, that is so true. It's really just about being who we are and sharing our light.
So true. Okay, so I got to ask the big question, right? This is my favorite question because I ask every single one of my guests and I never get the same answer twice, which I think is absolutely perfect because it's all about abundance. And to me, abundance is unlimited, and there's so many different ways to think about and experience abundance. So through your eyes, and given the kind of work you do, how do you define abundance?
Well, it's definitely a limitless, infinite resource within ourselves. It's really a state of being. I mean, abundance is an energy, yes, and it's also this incredible state of being, and we're really born abundant. It's not something that we have to chase after. It's more a matter of bringing our awareness, developing our conscious awareness, doing the inner work, so that we become aware of the abundance within our lives. And there's certain areas, of course, where we all want to express more of it in the world. So when I'm reminded of when my daughter was 4, she said to me, "We don't get new things, we just get more of what we have." And that, I understood immediately what she meant by that, the little spiritual teacher that she was. And
I love that.
that she still is. I mean, what she was saying is that we have it within us. And it's a matter of saying hello to it, really, and cultivating it, and noticing where we lost sight of it, if you will.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really love that. I think you're bringing up a super important point. And to me, I feel like this is kind of at the core of what all of us are learning about and expanding towards. I recently received a download that everything is love and everything is guiding you to love. And every conversation, every interaction is a request for love. Because when you show up, you'd really like people to appreciate you and value you and think you're cool and, add value to them too and all of that, right? And at the same time, it comes from within. Like we were talking about before,
Yeah.
it's who you are being that ends up being received. And it's not the doingness that
Right.
really makes the difference. So there's a combination of self love and caring about who you are being, and also the dichotomy of the being versus the doing. Because, to your point, I know one of the key things that you teach is it's about aligned action, right?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, and opening up our receiving space, because in the world that most of us are raised in, we're trained just to use our intellects and not our intuition, and we are told, you know, just keep on muscling through everything. We're told to just override our emotions, override our, whatever's going on at work, and just keep kind of plowing through everything. And so, really, that is not what it's meant to just be about. It's meant to be about finding the balance in our lives and opening up our ability to receive, because that's where we receive guidance and that's where we receive the abundance that we are looking to develop in some area of our lives. And so it's a matter of really, as we start to do the spiritual work, we start to expand our awareness and look at things with a different way of, through the eye of spirit, if you will.
Yeah. And we get trained out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it can be really challenging for us to
Mhm.
shift that perspective again and have a
Right.
broader perspective. So I really want to ask you this next question, because I think you've worked with so many people over the years. You have kind of seen it all, right? So at what point do you find people are finally at that point where they're ready to activate their intuition? They've tried all the external referencing stuff and it's time to be internally resourced.
Yeah, so often my students will be people that, they've done all the intellectual training. They've gotten not just one degree, but a higher degree. They've kind of, they've established themselves in a certain way in the physical world, and they're thinking, okay, so I've arrived at this certain place, but there's something missing. There's so much more out there. There's so much more to know. There's so much more to create. And how do I get in touch with that part of myself? How do I get in touch with my higher self, my intuition? How do I use my intuition to guide my creativity and to guide my life so that I stay aligned with really who I am? Because there's so many choices we can make in life, but it's what choices are really aligned for me as the soul that I am, or as whatever you might call it. Different people call it different things, but what's really aligned for me? And so they know that there's more out there, and it's just they're ready to explore. They're ready. They're willing. You have to have that willingness within yourself, and that enthusiasm and that curiosity. And that's really all it takes. And the openness.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. Enthusiasm, curiosity. I'm writing this down, and openness. There's so much good stuff that you've shared here, and I just don't want to miss any of it. And I don't want to forget any of it. I'm like taking notes as fast as I can. And I'm not all that subtle about it. I try to be kind of subtle, but no, this is good stuff. I don't want to miss any of it. So, okay, I want to take this a little step further, because certainly for me, and I've noticed for a lot of my clients, we really want our external world to change. And we know that it requires some sort of internal shift.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a mindset shift. It's a something kind of looking at the world in a different way. It's asking different questions. It's something. What have you found people need to be willing to change inside to have that transformation that they witness then on the outside?
That's a great question. And they have to be willing to move beyond just the intellectual process of thinking about it as an idea. I mean, that's where it starts. And so there's nothing wrong with that. But if you just stay at that point of thinking about what you'd like to change, thinking about what you'd like to have, or thinking about the abundance that you want to bring into your life in some area, whether it's career abundance or friendship abundance or community abundance, whatever it is. So for them to decide that they're ready to move into an experiential, embodied process of transformation, means that they have to get to that point where they understand that would be valuable, where they realize the value of that. And then it's a step-by-step process that is greatly helped by grounding themselves, starting out just grounding themselves and being present in their bodies. And then when you do that, you start to then tap into more of those unlimited resources within yourself. And also, it makes it easier to just move into your natural, intuitive, or spiritual growth space instead of just being in that intellectual space that's kind of out of body. And you can, be walking around in the world, and we tend to have an expression that, like, oh, I've been just kind of in my head. That's how we can end up being, and it's kind of ungrounded. But when I get my students into that space of starting out like by just grounding and just turning down the thinking mind, and then you can start to explore and really have fun, because in some ways I like to think of myself as a spiritual explorer, because people explore down into the depths of the ocean and out into space, but there is just so much to explore spiritually within ourselves. And it's just an incredible space that brings so much joy, because we're connecting with a part of ourselves that's infinite and that's so powerful and so bright, and just that's always been there and always will be there. We get so stuck on because of the culture and society we grow up in, just that everything's about the body, and so no wonder we end up feeling kind of separated or lonely, or, a lot of different feelings like that, or fearful or guilty or whatever it is. But when we step into that space of spiritual exploration, it really is an incredible game changer. It lets us remember who we are and come back to ourselves.
Yeah, I have a question that I want to ask you, simply because I'm curious about it. This is not one of the questions I usually ask, but you're an expert here. I gotcha. You're held hostage, so I'm going to ask my question. So I would love to get your distinction between a somatic experience and an emotion.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, give me a little bit more on that.
Sure. So a somatic experience is a physical sensation, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and an emotion. Okay, this is a great question. I love this, because we absorb so much energy from the world around us that it can get confusing as far as what our emotions are, our true feelings, let's just say. When we walk around, we're like big sponges, especially because anybody listening to this is naturally a big healer, out healing in the world, being a caretaker, a nurturer, all of that, right? And inherently, if you're a healer, of course, you're super intuitive, way more than you think. I mean, that's the thing, is people don't realize how intuitive they are, and they don't until they start to just say hello to it. And then, wow, I really am intuitive. But so So we're out in the world and we tend to just pick up so much that's out there. So we absorb, sometimes feel, we start out our day maybe with our own true feelings, knowing how we feel and what we feel. And then let's say we go to work and we go to the grocery store and we go to the gym or whatever it is. And then pretty soon we've absorbed a whole bunch of emotions that really aren't ours. And we mix. So it's like mixed feelings is actually a great way to put it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So use those mixed feelings, which is like our feelings mixed with other people's feelings to really form what we think is real. And so once we release that, which is actually very easy when we tune our awareness to it and go, hey, maybe not all my feelings, my emotions, maybe since I started out the day feeling pretty good and fresh and creative, and now I feel tired and grumpy, maybe all of this isn't mine. So we release it, and then all of a sudden we're tapping into what our true feelings are, which is wonderful, because if we're going to use our feelings as part of creating abundance or creating, we want to have those feelings be our true feelings, not the mixed feelings from the world around us, because then what do we get? If we create from energy that's not our energy, then we're getting a result that's not totally aligned with what we like. And so that hopefully answers the question about emotions. And then you said somatic. So say a little bit more about that as far as what the question is.
So what I understand the distinction to be is somatic means sensations in the body. So tingling, heat, cool, ripples, anything like that. An itchy scalp. I mean, anything that your body, a sensation of the body in the body. Okay.
Yes.
That's a somatic thing. And then I was recently heard that when we put a judgment on top of a somatic sensation, then it becomes an emotion. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. But also, I believe a lot of emotions come from the energy that we surround ourselves with and how we choose to show up. Now, the thing that I love about emotions is science has shown it takes your body and mind 90 seconds to process an emotion. So when you suddenly get the chills because you're super excited and something amazing is happening and you're just blown away, your body gets triggered and it sends out the goosebumps. And then it takes a little bit for the goosebumps to go away. Now, if you keep hitting that same thought over and over and over again, then it will last, another 90 seconds, another 90 seconds, another 90. So you build that emotion, because also I think we are so trapped in our heads that we don't know how we feel. And so I love journaling because it allows me to just write down everything that's going on through my head so I can see what are the emotions behind what I'm saying to myself, because I get disconnected from, from what I'm feeling.
Well, so we can have feelings in our body that are really positive, of course, like when we do some kind of an activation or healing, or we're integrating some amazing work we've done. And then other times we get feelings in our body that are a result of what we've picked up from the world around us. Like we go and we're helping somebody in our family and it's a difficult situation. And then all of a sudden we have a sore neck. So, I mean, and then we can use our intuition to look at that and go, wait a second, do I have a sore neck because I was just lifting weights and I strained something? Or do I have a sore neck because I was helping that person and actually took on some of their energy? So the beautiful thing about developing our conscious awareness, spiritual growth, developing our intuition, is we can use our intuition to distinguish between whether it's something that we just took on or whether it's something that's just a strained muscle, and also we can notice when we're having some kind of something that we really want to tune into with our bodies. Like, oh, wow, my body feels really good when I do this certain thing that I like to do. And what does that mean? Oh, maybe I should keep doing that because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And so it's really nice to really tune into your body. I think, as you grow your intuition consciously, because we're all intuitive, of course, it's just a matter of becoming more and more aware of it. We do naturally, at least I've noticed this for myself, become more and more aware of exactly what's going on in our body. And so I'll even ask sometimes, wow, what does my body need? What is this? It's not even, it'll be sure why am I having this certain feeling? That's one thing, but sometimes it's just, what does my body need? And the body really loves it when you say hello to it. We're really meant to have that body soul relationship. So when you say hello, so often we're walking around and we're sort of disconnected from our bodies. And so there's like this disconnect between our higher self, or our soul knowledge, our soul personality, and our body, the genetics we came into, this physical body that we came into. There's like this disconnect. And what's really desired, and this is what one of the outcomes that I love as a teacher, is to see people harmonize that communication between their body and soul, so that it's really integrated. They're really grounded. They're bringing in that information into the body. They're able to manifest it in the world and tune in on a body level too, to just even the simple needs that are very important for this incredible vessel called our body, this divine vessel. A lot of times we kind of tend to beat up on our body, like we're like, come on, body, you got to do better. But it's like the body really wants you to know that, it's so much more valuable to say, body, I love you. I fully accept you. You're an incredible vessel for the expression of what I'm here to be doing and expressing. So I hope that maybe answered your question.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. That was so awesome. You have no idea. That was really, really great. Boy, it leads me to my next question, though, which is, could you give us one or two little baby steps? We're just getting started on this journey. We're exploring, discovering our intuition. What are one or two little things we could start to do that would get us a taste of this and get us going in the right direction?
Yes. So it's really nice to find a way to ground yourself. Maybe you're taking a walk in nature, or you're just making yourself sit down and have a quiet cup of tea. I teach specific tools to help people ground themselves, but find a way to ground yourself and create a pause of presence. Because really, just giving ourselves a little bit of space from the do, all that do is really helps us to start to tap into that innate intuition that we have, and then also noticing when you were intuitive in your life. So even like looking a little bit on a timeline, when was I really following my intuition? I didn't even realize it. Was it when I applied for college, or was it when I chose my career, or was it when I chose that relationship that worked out well, and really validating the areas where maybe it was as a parent. Wow, when it comes to parenting, I really seem to follow my intuition, even though I don't realize it, whatever that might be for somebody. So, or maybe it's just, hey, whenever I choose a vacation, I seem to be tapping into my intuition because the outcome's really good. Whatever that is, noticing the areas, so that, because I think everything begins with validation. I think if we begin by beating ourselves up, which is really the intellectual mind, the self-critical, that whole thing is the intellectual training we were given, which is great, but it ends up running the whole show and brings all this criticism in. And it brings always looking at the cups, what needs to be fixed. We're always looking at, I got to fix this. And as a healer, watch out for that, right? If you're just on fixing overload. But so I think that it really begins with validating yourself, saying hello to your incredible power, your incredible abilities that you might not even fully know yet, that will show up more and more in your conscious awareness through spiritual growth. But and then noticing where you were intuitive. And then after that, you might notice, well, where did my intuition give me some really important and valuable guidance that I didn't follow it? I second guessed it, because we all do that. We all second guess our intuition. I mean, I could tell you so many times when I second guessed it, but do it with laughter, I would say, go, oh yeah, I know I definitely, didn't follow my intuition in that situation. I second guessed myself. So just starting to explore and collect your own intuitive data, collect that information, and then start to really notice, make a decision, a conscious decision and intention, just like what we were doing in the beginning here, which I love. I love the way you start the podcast. It's so fabulous. And it's really, I think everybody should be doing that. But anyway, I've never seen anybody else do it. So bringing that intention into your mind, I would like to really develop this, and I would like the universe to kind of highlight it more for me, so that I start to notice. I'm getting an intuitive hit on this. I'm sure it is. But start out low stakes. If you're somebody that's apprehensive about it, start out where the stakes are low. Say, hey, can you direct me to the better, the parking area that's going to have the most parking spots for me? Okay, low stakes. Or the restaurant that's going to be more delicious out of these 3 choices, or whatever.
Perfect.
So the stakes are low, then you can't, quote unquote, screw it up. I'm saying that in quotes, because obviously there's no screwing up. And we need to give ourselves permission, actually, in life to screw up, but we don't have to be perfect. It's not about perfectionism. So I think that's really fun. It makes it a fun game. I mean, in a way, gamify it for yourself.
Yeah, that is such a good point. Gamify it. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Just that is so valuable. Gwyneth, this is just amazing. And you have given us so much. So Gwyneth, you offered an incredible free gift to everyone in the audience. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, email me through my website, gwynethflack.com, and I'll send you a 6-hour course series of intuitive tools that will help bring greater abundance into your life, help you with becoming more grounded and more intuitive. I will send you the whole 6-hour series. So just feel free to email me and ask me, and tell me, of course, that, where you heard me making this offer.
Awesome. Well, absolutely. I will make sure that all of your contact information is in the show notes, all of your social media links, your website, the free gift information, all of it is in the show notes. Now, Gwyneth, one of the things we love to do here at The Abundance Journey is turn the tables on our guests, because we know that when we give is when we truly receive the most. So what is something that we can do to support you?
Well, join my newsletter, and I would say buy my book or audio book, Limitless, Transform Your Life with Intuition and Creativity. I would love it if it's in Kindle, audiobook, paper. So yeah, I would love to hear from you by email, and I would love it if you would pick up a copy of my book in whatever format you would like to get it in. And if you read it or listen to it, let me know. I love feedback.
Man, I could keep you here all day, and I've got a real dilemma, because I have to do the Activate Abundance segment, and I have page after page after page of great things that you shared with us today. So, talk about abundance, right? You really delivered. This was amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Gwyneth.
Thank you so much. It's been delightful. It's been so fun.
Awesome. Well, stick around, because we're going to activate abundance in just a moment.
All right.
Wow, that was really powerful. But before we dive in to Activate Abundance, I would love your support. Please share this episode, leave a comment, and subscribe so we can spread abundance far and wide. And if you're ready to go deeper, I'd be honored to be your coach through the Inner Power Protocol, helping you move from spiritual overwhelm to embodied power so you live the life your soul designed you to be. Let's make this your moment. Man, Gwyneth Flack is freaking amazing. I love her energy. I love her attitude. I love her ideas, her suggestions. She lives it. She breathes it. She is it, right? She just modeled intuition so beautifully for us. Step one is gratitude. And gratitude is really the foundation of everything you want. Gratitude is the activation for higher consciousness. It's the accelerator switch. It's the ignition switch. It turns everything on that you want on is by starting with gratitude. I have so much to be grateful for because of all the amazing things that Gwyneth shared with us. So I had a tough time with step two, acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. She made a very, very, very important distinction for me and something that I'm going to take on. She said, often we have this whole intellectual thing going on and we ignore the body. We forget that it's an integrated system. And unless we are willing to integrate the intellect and our higher selves with our physical being, there's always going to be this disconnect and we're not going to be able to really receive that intuition that we're after. And then she was incredibly generous, sharing all the different ways that we can actually do that with the grounding and all of the rest of it. Watch it again. I mean, I'm going to. She gave us an amazing checklist of what we could follow. So step one is gratitude. Step two is acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. And that is integrate the mind and the body and talk to the body a lot because it's got a lot to say. You're just not used to listening to it. Step three, appreciate the difference it can make in your life when you actually do listen to your body, talk to your body, and integrate your intellect with your body. Amazing things can happen. It ignites your intuition. All of a sudden, those random sensations going through your body, that itch that you feel on your ankle, it's not a random thing. There's a friend of mine who did a whole course on what different itches mean on different parts of your body. It's a message, people. There's method to the madness, okay? That stuff that happens in your body isn't random. It's real and it's guidance that can support you. All right, step one, gratitude. Step two, acknowledge what you heard that was an aha for you. Step three, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Step four, activate it. This is where we take a concept and we make it physically, tangibly real. I've found three different ways that help me do this. The first way is schedule time to get it done. I include journaling in here because if I don't make time for it, it's never going to happen. And it's really important to me to do that, especially when I want to get in touch with what my body has to say. What is going on here? What do you need right now? What will make you feel good? How can I support you? And praise my body. Thank you for all of the wonderful things that you do for me. Thank you for staying so healthy. Thank you for being that perfect vessel to express the divine through me. It's not about my body. It's about all the sensations. And it's like this big antenna, this big receiver. And I haven't been tuning in to receive. So yeah, writing it down allows me to have a more objective perspective so I can truly receive the messages that are there for me. So schedule time to get it done. The second way to activate abundance is with a physical trigger, like crossing your fingers or tugging on your earlobe as a reminder, hey, physical trigger. Am I asking my body what it wants? Am I listening to my body? Am I combining my intellect with my physicality? Because it's all one system. And if I'm only focused on my right, well, try hopping on your right foot all day and see how well that goes. You're pretty likely to fall over. And no wonder you aren't balanced. So that physical trigger reminds you to check in with the physical messages that are coming through and keep that in mind as the intuitive guidance towards your next step so that you are aligned with everything that you're doing. And of course, everything leads to love. Everything is love, and it's guiding you to love. Now, the third way to activate abundance is to collaborate with what I call an abundance buddy, because I'm all about abundance. Most people call them accountability buddies, but that's no fun. This is somebody who loves you, who gets you, who appreciates you, values you, and they understand where you're coming from. So you make a declaration. You say, I tend to be in my head a lot, and I really want to notice what's going on in my body, and I want to talk to my body more. So if you see me falling back into old patterns, please call me on it. Ask me, what does your body have to say about this? Just ask me. And that will remind me that this is a critical component of my experiencing my intuition. And I'm really determined to incorporate this as a natural part of my self-expression. What is my body telling me right now? All right, step 1, gratitude. Step 2, acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. Step 3, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Step 4, activate it. Step 5, celebrate your progress. Isn't this amazing? This whole incredible experience called life? There is more. Just as Gwyneth was saying, it's infinite intelligence flowing through you. That's who you truly are. And that's what you have access to. That's why I always say life is kind of like the ultimate infomercial. But wait, there's more. There's more joy, there's more love, there's more abundance, there's more prosperity, there's more delight and wonder. And you have total control over experiencing that. Just use your intuition a little bit. It'll guide you. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time for the Abundance Journey. Thank you for joining me for the Abundance Journey. If today's episode inspired you, I would love to hear from you. Go to theabundancejourney.com/contact and click on the Share My Thoughts button to tell me what you loved or what you learned from today's episode. And when you do, you'll receive the Spiritual Alignment and Conscious Action Jumpstart as my free gift. Remember, abundance shared is abundance amplified, and it always reflects back to you. So be sure to share the Abundance Journey show with your friends. In fact, there are lots of great things you can share in today's show notes, like the free gift link, key insights, quotable comments, step-by-step processes, and lots more. The show notes link is in the episode description. Until next time, I'm Elaine Starling, the Abundance Ambassador, reminding you that every moment is a chance to create the abundant life your soul designed you to live.